Hey, everybody, how's everyone doing this evening? So happy you guys have taken time to join us here on Christmas Clatter. We'll be kicking off the recording of the podcast here shortly, but I want to say hello to everyone. Hey, Kathy, thanks for joining in here. I must say I do like your profile picture. Some beach somewhere is I just we are a beach family for sure, and that just gives me all the beach vibe feels. I really like that. Hey, Art, Bookshelf Odyssey. Glad you could hop on here with us, my friend. It's good to see you again. And I know you've been busy with Cozy Christmas podcast and all the bookshelf stuff. So thanks for taking time. Hello, Holly. Thanks for keeping everyone in line with your little wrench. I appreciate it. And she's been good at helping me. My wife has been very instrumental in getting this thing on the straight and narrow, so I appreciate that. Miss Amy, hello. It's good to see you again and have you in the chat. I hope you're enjoying that planner. You got, I guess it was a month or a little bit more ago. Hey, Arnie, Doug, Pepper Tree Villa. You guys are on the side waiting for everybody. Hey, Ken, how you doing, bub? I hope you got that painting done today. So, Mikey, good to see you, sir. So, looks like everybody's saying hello. Hey, there's a new face. Mia, thanks for hopping on here, sis. I appreciate it. For those that don't know, that's my oldest girl there, hopping in to say hi. So, I really appreciate that. So, Jessica, how you doing? I know you're ready for Christmas and puzzling and all that. So, it looks like everybody's saying hello. Hey, Matthew, thank you so much, man. Yeah, it's November. It's Christmas. So, but hey, Ben, thanks for being here too. You're just off in the wings waiting as well. Dwayne, hey, man, how you doing? I meant to message you the other day and it slipped my mind. So I think I was going to wait because of the time change, but hope everything's doing well down under. I'm sure you're enjoying your spring and getting all your lights done. I have enjoyed your Halloween drum covers, sir. They have been wonderful. So thanks so much, Dwayne, for being here, man. I really appreciate it. So, yes, everybody hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. That's a nice and easy way to help the channel. And so, oh my goodness, I need to fix this. Look at this here. I can't even get it. I don't wonder what that did there. I don't think I'm going to be able to read that. There we go. That's why we started off. Thanks, Miss Amy. I'm glad you enjoyed that planner. I'm hoping everybody's not getting tired of it, but that is what it is. So, but well, and looks like that's oh man. Hey, the Orlando guy. Thanks so much for hopping in here with us. It's good. It's good to see you. I see you on Monday nights. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. And I like that. Uh, logo you have there. That is pretty cool. So, but all right, guys. Looks like everybody's saying hi to everyone else, and oh man, it's just part of what I want to do here and build the best Christmas community on YouTube. For those that have not been here before, what I do is this is a live stream, but it's also a podcast. So here in a minute, I'm going to start like I haven't even started before, and that's the beginning of the podcast. The chat, you guys enjoy yourselves in the chat. If there's something really that comes through that's really great, we'll mention it if, but it might get, ignored or missed. So please don't get your feelings hurt because we're doing a podcast. But sit tight, and once the podcast is over, there'll be what I call a false stop. Just sit tight, and once I end the podcast, we'll have a special live Q&A with you guys, just as a little benefit or for joining us and taking time out of your day to be with us here on Christmas Clatter. So let me get a drink. I'll mute myself so you don't have to hear my drinking noise. I heard it a while ago in my earbuds, and I was like, I can't believe people are living with that. But alrighty, give us 1 second here. All right. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Christmas Clatter. It is the first Wednesday of November. Halloween is over. We got that mess done with, and it is officially Christmas time, Christmas season. I know some of you guys, well, what about Thanksgiving? And like I said, Thanksgiving is just pre-Christmas. I love Thanksgiving just as much as the next guy, but it just folds into the whole Christmas aesthetic so well that that it's just been absorbed by the Christmas season. So I hope everybody is getting all your playlists. If you're one of those that wait to listen to holiday music around the holidays, I hope your playlists are fired up and you're listening to that music. I hope your decorations are out. I hope that your house is just full of tubs and boxes stacked on top of each other and you're wondering where you're going to put it all. Because that's where we're at. We started decorating this week, and in fact, I had to take today a little time away from the decorating to build a couple. We have two couches in our living room, and we were running out of places to put our stuff. So I took a little time out of the day to build a couple sofa tables to slide behind our couches, so we can have more flat space to put all our whatnots and our thingy jobs and whatever. I mean, Holly said we need to move the Nutcracker collection, but I don't know where we're going to move it to. It's taking up the hallway. I suggested maybe blocking the front door and just going in and out of the garage, but she didn't want to block the front door with stuff. So, I mean, that seemed like a reasonable solution to me, but we'll see what happens. When it's all up, it's all out. I'll get some videos and some pics for everybody just to show everybody what's going on. But it has been a we've been kind of slow go on getting our decorations going. Just some things kind of feels like it working against us for some reason. I'm not sure what that's about. Hopefully yours is going a little bit smoother, a little bit better. But we'll get it pulled in together. I just want to remind everybody about the Christmas planner. It's christmasclatter.live/planner. I hope you guys aren't getting tired of me talking about it, but it's just important to, make sure the things go off, as best they can, and writing things down. It's just one of those ways to make it happen. And I put out a video today, this Wednesday the 2nd, if you're listening to this in the future, about the planner, and Art, who's in the chat from the YouTube channel, Art's Bookshelf Odyssey, and also from the Cozy Christmas podcast, had a great point, because I mentioned about how phones really don't work because you don't look at them, and if you don't get a notification, you might miss it. But Art was right. He's like, I grabbed my phone thinking I put something in there, and before I know it, I've spent, 20 minutes, distracted by my phone and looking through Facebook or whatever, and then realized I never did put anything in my phone. And I was like, that's a great point, Art. Sometimes, the phone is a solution, but it can be more of a distraction as well if you're not overly disciplined on it. And I had read or listened to a study podcast, something a few weeks ago, I guess now. And it says when someone gets off task, it takes like 23 minutes to get them back on task. And it's like, it's like, 23 minutes. And so it's like, if you come off task, it's like, you're just basically going to waste 23 minutes. And, that can really add up fast. A few minutes here and there is one thing, but 23 minutes at a time is really, really something. But, I promised to talk about Christmas music this week, and I'm going to push that back because I had a new idea, and I'm going to see how that goes. So there is some great Christmas music out there. I know Switchfoot has a new album that's out, and it's pretty good. I would say it's like the greatest Christmas album I've ever heard in my life, but it's it's pretty good. It's better than most. It was better than that Goo Goo Dolls album that came out last year. And there's some others coming out. The Backstreet Boys one seems to be very well received, and I haven't listened to it enough to tell one way or the other. There's some solo artists. Friend of the show, Luke McMasters has a new song called "Christmas in Slow Mo." Check that out. And another artist, William Demps, has a new cover of "This Christmas," and it's pretty cool too. It's kind of a gospel-y early '90s uh, Brian McKnight kind of vibe to it, and it's pretty cool. And kind of got to, in my opinion, to take on Donny Hathaway, you really have to be really sure of yourself. So, but so just stay tuned for the music. I kind of had a different idea. I really want to explore it. So I'm just going to push pause on that, but there'll be more coming out, and you'll see it. Just make sure you follow us here on YouTube and on all the social medias at Christmas Clatter. And let's get on with our guests. We have some special guests with us today. It's the gang from Pepper Tree Villa. If you're not sure who they are, Pepper Tree Villa is a YouTube channel that just focuses on kind of like lifestyle stuff. They really love to decorate and to cook and to enjoy the finer things. And I tell you what, I'm not just saying this because they're on the podcast, but they have encouraged me and my wife Holly to really like step up our Christmas game, and they have lots of great tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. And it's just really, really wonderful. They live stream Monday nights at 6:30 Pacific time. So, links will be in the description for their channel. But let me not waste any more time and bring up Arnie, Doug, Ben, and Sherry of the Pepper Tree Villa. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hi.
So, Pepper Tree Villa, man, this is probably the most. Well, this isn't the most people I've had on the podcast at one time. I used to, uh, I had a game show or debate show, so to speak, called the Merry Melee, and I would have three contestants and three judges and myself, and it got to be a fiasco. So, but
Sounds fun though.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I have to say that I was always known as like the Christmas guy where I'm at, but I'm from like small town Missouri, so to be a Christmas guy is not that tough. But you guys have really encouraged us to really, really blow it up even bigger and better than what we normally do, and to up our game and to up the ante, so to speak. So I really, really thanks for the encouragement and to get that going. I really appreciate it. So, but
Well, anything Christmas, we're ready for it.
I understand. So we have, for those that don't know, on the very far left is Arnie, then Doug, then Ben, then Sherry. So just I always like to talk to people, especially first time you're on the podcast, about origin. I love a good origin story. I'm a Marvel fan. Grew up a comic book fan. So what is the origin of Pepper Tree Villa? You're on.
You're on
You're on
mute.
You're on
mute.
mute, Arnie.
So sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
we were
Everything
doing
okay?
and eating and smacking. It was very rude. So we just scarfed down our food.
The
We wanted to go into the whole YouTube thing because we had a feeling of like a Disney feel to it, but we didn't want to go full on Disney because you hear a lot of YouTubers name it off of. So I said, as a branding person, I'm a graphic designer, so I help people with logos. I said, let's do it so we can talk about cooking, baking, and tap into our Christmas. We
yeah,
didn't know Christmas was going to be it.
yeah, the main reason was because people wanted to see our Christmas trees. They wanted to see some of our recipes. So we thought, let's start a YouTube channel and share our stuff.
Our house, when we bought our house exactly 14 years ago this Sunday, I can't believe we had the keys to this house for
Wow.
14. I created a logo for the house,
Uh,
but I needed a name because we had friends in Southern California who are big Disney fans. They call their house the Valley Mouse Manor
uh-huh.
because they go to Disneyland all the time. And I said we
Okay.
have to be like them. So we got ours. I wanted something, so we didn't go full on Disney, but we called it Villa D, and it has both of our names. And we wanted something very generic. And I said we feel like we live in a villa.
Uh-huh.
And I know it's being facetious and everything, but it's cool.
Yeah.
I created a logo, and then fast forward into wanted to do YouTube. Disneyland has landscaping, and when you go and park your car, you have to go down a tram route. The tram route is lined with California pepper trees.
Uh-huh.
It's indigenous to Spain and in California. It's a very California tree. And we always said to ourselves when we were going to Disneyland, when we bought a house, we're going to have a pepper tree. Fast forward, we did get a pepper tree for our house. I said, why don't we just call ourselves, we use Villa. I go, let's call ourselves Pepper Tree Villa. So that's actually the name. There's whole story behind it, and that's the long story.
One of the advantages to having Pepper Tree Villa as the name is that it's 15 letters long without the spaces.
Right.
So in social media, I think it's Twitter that allows 15 letters for the name of your handle. So that's where Arnie and Doug came in and they said, yeah, that's going to work.
Well, and the
You
other
know-
thing too is that the tree is named Keith because our brother, I have one more brother. There's 4 of us. And his middle name is Keith. Ronald Keith is his name. And so because he gave them the pepper tree, they named the tree Keith. So when
Our
they
house
refer to the tree as Keith, that's
It's Keith the Pepper Tree.
Keith the pepper tree.
He has a Twitter handle and everything. So yeah, Keith is with his brother got for a housewarming. It's really hard to find these trees to go by, and it was a sickly little twig, tiny. It died twice until we actually put it in. And now the thing is ginormous. I gave it a haircut last Tuesday, but so that's our name. And, we're going with that.
Yeah. Well, naming plants is definitely beneficial. We used to kill every plant we ever brought in the house till we started giving them names, and then we've done much better. Our first one was, I forget what that thing is. Francisco's his name, but I think he's like a peace lily or something, or Easter lily, or I don't even know what he is. He's big, but
I need to know
Francisco's his
your
name.
secret.
So you just
'Cause
got to
I
give them a
didn't-
name, and then you're more apt to keep them watered and pointed at the sun and all that
I
stuff.
don't. I can name them till the cows come home, and I still kill them.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're awful with that.
Pretty good. We name all of our physical Christmas trees have names to them too.
Yeah. Well, the one right behind me, Doug refers to as the stately crystal Tannenbaum. Otherwise, it's just the crystal tree.
Yeah.
And we have the crystal grove between us, and up above his head over that way, that's part of the Christmas village that's above the television.
Yeah.
It's a whole naming convention.
Oh yeah. So do you have to keep like cue cards for all the names, or they locked in once?
No, we have a dossier that we keep it. So like, what did we put there? How was it? What did we do? I can't remember. So we open it up, and plus he records it, so we just go back to YouTube and like, oh, okay, that's where that went. Because 50 totes.
Yeah.
It's a madness here.
I know we have someone in our audience here that would be upset if I didn't mention Chatty, too.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
our honorary mascot.
Chatterphone is our honorary mascot. He's a Hallmark ornament, and so he visits each tree during the season. So he doesn't stay on just one Christmas tree. He's on all the trees of the forest.
Kind of like the roaming gnome. It's the roaming chatter.
Yeah. I love that. I love that segment of the show, just updating where he's at. But you was talking about naming your trees. It's like is it like I have 4 kids. Are you like every good parent? You have to run through all the names before you get the right one. You know, so,
Oh, you do that too, huh?
Yeah, you over there,
yeah,
stick the silly
yeah.
one.
It's bad
has
when
has has Martha made an appearance yet?
She's laying down in the living room. We haven't fluffed her yet. That's our last tree. We're trying to, but when you're trying to make money and life and days have been flying by, just
yeah,
like all of a sudden you look up and it's like, why am I starving?
I mean,
Oh, it's 1:30.
let's face it. Your Christmas plan is like the perfect thing for planning for what we do, so we
yeah,
can keep on track of what's happening.
I have a calendar. I have a list. I love lists. I have 2 clipboards down there.
yeah.
So
You have to, you know, otherwise you just it gets away from you way too fast.
Well,
And
when you do as much as we do,
mm,
it's a matter of actually saying, okay, this is the weekend we're going to make sure that this is done,
Yeah.
and you just plan starting in. We started in August,
yeah,
so it's just a matter of making sure that everything is done in a timely manner.
yeah.
yeah. You
My,
guys are August 20th and ours is September 16th.
yeah, my mom, she puts up a lot of decorations, and Holly spent the past few weeks going over there about half a day with her sister to help her. And yeah, you have to start early, and you have to, be,
Yeah.
attentional to that. She's ended up with I think 25 trees this year in her house, and it gets to be, you know, it gets to be a lot, and it's like it's been cracking me up this year because this year she's like, oh, I'm just about done, and then she's like opens a tub, and so she's like, I forgot to put all this stuff out, so she's got to find places for that,
Like, I
and
did that with the pine
That
tree
kind of
yesterday.
sounds like me.
Yeah,
That sounds like me.
yeah, and
I
then
forget I have it, and then it's like, oh man.
she had these picks. She had these picks she was going to put in her main tree, and she didn't have enough, so she drove all around town to the different stores trying to figure out which one she bought them at because she couldn't remember. And I'm like, you might have bought them at home in St. Louis, and she's like, I might have, I might have. She's like, I might have to drive up there and see,
Oh
see
boy.
drive a
Poor
couple hours to
Holly.
see. And
Ugh.
I was like, well, so she ended up, I think, pulling some off of her stairway. She decorated the banister on the stairway with some of them. So I think she pulled them off the stairway, and then she's going to redo that some form or fashion. But this year, we decided we got all our stuff upstairs in the house for our decorations, and we kind of have Christmas stuff just kind of was strung through the basement with. We had our main stuff was organized, but then we had all this extra that just kind of comes in as the year goes on. And I'm like, I was like, if it's not in my YouTube space and it's Christmas, it's going upstairs because we got to get this thing organized a little bit better, or we'll be pulling our hair out. And
That sounds familiar. Sounds
but,
very familiar.
yeah, the struggles are real. So
Now, you said
I
you have 4 kids,
yeah, we have 4 kids. So
and
we
what
have
are their ages?
we have 19, 18, 14, and 9, soon to be 10. She'll be 10
Oh.
at the end of this month. So
Oh,
Well, I have
wow.
3. I'm the only one of this bunch that has any kids, and they're 38, 33, and 29,
uh,
all married, and 3 grandchildren.
oh, nice.
9, almost 3, and 8 months. 8 months.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that
Ugh.
grandkids. I'm not ready for that grandkids thing yet. So
Like my husband likes to say, we should have had grandkids before we had kids because it's a lot of fun.
everybody says that, and so I believe there's probably some truth to it. But
In fact, I was having a conversation with my daughter today, and she said her 2 were driving her crazy. And I said, you know what, though, babe? One of these days you're really going to miss it because sometimes I miss those days. And she says, well, do you want to have them? I said, I'll take them, but you may not be happy with the way I raise them.
yeah,
the threatening.
yeah, yeah. My mom was a lot easier on the grandkids than she was on me, for some reason, and
That was our dad,
what kind of wine are you drinking?
Gorstriner
Oh,
from Navarro.
okay.
Why?
Oh, I was just wondering if it was a Hallmark wine.
No, I think Do we still have some?
I think we still got, I think, 1 or 2 bottles left.
Tom and I just finished off this bottle, and it was one that we had purchased for Thanksgiving.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
I have another one of it for Thanksgiving, but this one is, yeah,
Gone. It's gone.
it's gone.
So
I'll come home and
We're
I'll see
talking about
Tom.
her being a
Baldwin.
wino. We need to move on.
Now Tom looks like the guy in Pirates of the Caribbean sometimes when we come home. He's got the bottle because it's got about this much left in it. And rather than put it in a glass, he'll just swig it. I said, why get a glass dirty? I'm going, Tom.
This is retirement.
Yeah. Yeah, you earn those stripes when you retire. So,
Oh,
well, let me ask you guys this: as far as decorating, what's probably your biggest don't? If you had to give someone a big don't for a decorating tip, what was one thing that you absolutely don't want to do?
if it comes to the Christmas tree, don't start lighting at the bottom. You start at the top.
Yeah.
You start with your lights at the top, and we have a very specific way of lighting a tree. You'll see. Well,
drives me
for those of you
crazy.
that are listening, to the podcast, we start at the top of the tree and we wind around a little bit. But then when you start getting these branches that come out, and they're longer branches, you start at the trunk and you move your way in, or from the inside to the out on one side of the branch, and then go back down the other side of the branch. That way you get lights inside and out of your tree. It's going to sparkle no matter what. Any angle people see your ornaments from, they're going to be well lit. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
One thing that we've started doing in recent years is actually investing in quality trees. We are big fans of Balsam Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, we live near a distribution center that does closeouts at the end of the year, each year, over on the peninsula. Balsam Hill was started by a venture capitalist and someone from Silicon Valley. So everything's headquartered in, part of it is headquartered in California. So we have an advantage where we have access to that.
Mm-hmm.
But we went last year. I had made an episode of my show Life with Ben that you can see on our channel, where we went to the Balsam Hill outlet and picked up a bunch of stuff, not only for Christmas, but for fall.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we were amazed that we were able to fit everything in the car on the way home, because we
Yeah.
all went nuts.
We put Doug in the car, and on top of him, we wound around a garland so that if he had to get out, there was no way he was going to get out.
Oh
He
yeah,
was,
that was
he
good
was,
times, and it was well worth it.
yeah.
Sometimes
And
you have to
he,
sacrifice.
because we got everything into the trunk of the car that we could, but we still had stuff that had to be held, like a wreath and a garland. And
I had both
so
garlands.
I think I had the wreath in the back, and Doug had the garland wrapped around him and on his lap, and he wasn't going anywhere. He was
No.
stuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good times. But with when it comes to the holidays, and especially Christmas, getting quality trees, um, spending quality on lights. Definitely pay attention to the sales.
Mm-hmm.
Before you get it all after Christmas, but now everything's 40% off by Thanksgiving. Um, you know, it's the one time that gives you pleasure and it gives you escapism, and that's what the holidays are good for. So you just kind of like we all have to watch our money. This is one of the biggest things,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just sometimes you just need to splurge. You have to get the finer tree because it's going to
Yeah.
last you. Buy the better lights.
And
And there's times to be economical, but this is the one thing that you shouldn't go skimpy on.
I will say this: when you buy an artificial tree, I know many people are always tempted to buy pre-lit trees. You don't want to buy pre-lit trees, and the only reason why is because those lights always give you trouble.
Always.
And
How many times?
I know that lighting your own tree can be difficult or time consuming, but take that time. Just go ahead and do it. That way, if a strand goes bad, you know it's bad. You just take that away and put in a different one.
we watched a Christmas movie and they talked about, everybody is going for the quick, fast, and easy.
Mhm.
And there's some things especially with Christmas decorating, that doesn't generally pay off. I know Balsam Hill literally has a tree. You push a button, it folds in half, it folds on, and then you
Yeah.
snap the top,
Yeah.
and ding, it's done. And
And
I'm just like,
for some people that works really well, but for the type of trees that we like to do, we want to be able to light them the way we want to
Mhm.
light them. This tree behind me is a 6.5 foot tree, and I'm limited to that size because of the height of the room that I have here. I live in a home that was built in 1936, and building codes didn't exist at that time. So with this tree height, I was able
full of
to
asbestos.
climb on 1,500 lights.
The house is full of asbestos, so it's just all lead and asbestos. It's the best ever.
It is not.
And
No.
Yeah.
and you could change out the lights, and so that's where I say is definitely spend the money because
Yeah.
you will always
Yeah.
And
definitely.
I would have to say, just as far as ornaments go, just get what you like. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be matchy all the time.
Mhm.
Um, my big tree is got all kinds of different things. It's got handmade ornaments, it's got Hallmark, it's got UNESCO, it's got
Keychains.
keychains,
Mhm.
so now I do have two themed trees. One is a Tinkerbell tree, and it's a slim tree that's at the top of this our staircase between our two bedrooms upstairs. And I like Tinkerbell, so that's a joy for me to be able to put up Tinkerbell ornaments on that and keychains and pins
Yeah.
that I've collected over the years because I put them on uh, a piece of fabric that's called a yo-yo,
Mhm.
and it's a round disc of fabric, and I put the pins on that with a ribbon and hang them up. The other theme tree that I have at my house is in the kitchen, and it's a Starbucks tree because I've
Yeah.
been given so many of the little Starbucks ornaments that I just thought, well, I'm getting so many of them. I've got enough for a little tree, so my counter gets a little tree, and my husband gets upset because the toaster gets moved and the coffee maker gets pushed out of the way a little bit, but
All part of the
it's
Yeah.
sacrifice.
It's for
Yeah.
6 weeks.
my fun. It's my happy.
Oh yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
And don't, do what you want to do. You always hear
Uh-huh.
there's trends and styles, and you shouldn't be doing this. And this goes for just decorating in general. I watched a kitchen thing, and it's like, I have to live with the thing. I'm paying the mortgage. I'm going to do what I want. Just because it's not a trend or faux pas, I don't care. I like that. It
Yeah.
might be so 1990s, but I want grapevines on my cabinet still. So what? I'm not living my life because what would everybody think it would be? No, it brings me joy and happiness. I wake up and I'm like, I smile.
That's why we start decorating our house 100 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
Now I have to ask, is there anybody who's either listening to you or watching us that likes the new trend of the pink and the turquoise and off-white for Christmas this year?
Yeah.
Because I don't.
I've seen it. I've seen it here or there. We have a local Christmas story called the Yule Log Cabin. It used to be a Christmas tree farm, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. And they had one, and it actually was done nice. But Joni, who works out there, she's really great at decorating. So it was kind of really put on. But I don't know how long that one will stick around. But I don't know. Pink is okay. It just has to be done correctly. And what that is, I couldn't tell you. I just know it when I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. I
We
mean,
got-
I like the blues and the purples for Christmas
Yeah.
sometimes, but and the silvers, but I tend to be more of a traditionalist.
Yeah.
Red and white. Red and white.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working on as we
Yeah.
speak, putting the
Uh,
hangers on these ornaments. So
Now we did also mention I gave a decorating tip on our show on Monday night where I discussed forced perspective.
Uh-huh.
Where you start at the top of your tree with tiny ornaments, and then you put your large ornaments at the bottom, and everything just falls into place where you have the small at the top and the large at the bottom. And what it does is it gives you the illusion of forced perspective, which is what Walt Disney did when he built Main Street at Disneyland, where it various percentages of size, and it just gives the illusion that it's taller than it really is.
Yeah.
The actual term being a graphic designer is called trompe l'oeil. That is the graphic design term. So I've learned that years and years and years, even before I found out like Disneyland was built that way, is that small to big, and it just gives the illusion.
Yeah. One thing we learned watching Pepper Tree Villa, me and Holly, when we would decorate our tree, we do, I don't know, about anywhere from 9 to 12 trees. And they're all themed except for the one in the living room, our main tree. It's more of like a scrapbook tree of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when we would decorate, especially the main tree, the theme trees, we were more meticulous. As we had all these Hallmark ornaments and stuff, and we would just like grab one, go put it on, grab another one, go put it on. But we seen you guys put out the tables, and then you unbox all your ornaments and you lay them out to see what you have, and then you put them up more strategically, you know. Now, when our kids were little and they would help us decorate, you know, you'd have like 4 ornaments on a branch, and I just leave them because the kids help decorate it. You know,
Yeah.
they're older now, so you know I'll move them if they get too close. But it's like we went over to my mom and dad's and grabbed a spare folding table so we can put it up and then like spread everything out, and that way we can grab the right ornament for the right spot instead of just grabbing one, hanging it, grabbing, hanging. And that's one thing that's really kind of got us going. So
Yeah, we
I
call
would
that
like,
aging our ornaments.
Yeah, we have just 30 of these. It could be any. We go to Costco, and Costco has the trays that have food in it.
yeah,
And you could use the tops of boxes of wrapping paper. So if anybody who owns an office supply or works in an office, coffee paper.
Copy paper, yeah.
Use
just
those.
box lids.
And you just unpack all your ornaments and you have them all laid out. And then you could pick with them. And generally with us, we'll put them up and we'll faff with the stuff for days and say, no, what? That doesn't look right. And we'll just kind of tweak it. So it's not, I can't say it's perfect because nothing in the world is perfect, but you're just like,
Now, there is one thing I know that Ben does with his tree. That is, he uses solid colored lights for the majority of the lights, but then he'll go back in and decorate with just a couple of strands of twinkling clear lights. And Ben, it gives it a great shimmering effect. It looks like pixie dust.
it sparkles.
Yeah. It actually looks like it could be a prop on The Price is Right.
When you know something's designed right, and that's coming from a
oh, I got froze up.
oh, they froze.
There,
What
there.
happened, guys? Oh, there
Oh,
you
there
guys.
they are. You
Yeah.
froze for a minute.
Okay, we go. But just in why you know how design looks so well is because everything's considered in the 5 elements of design: color, space, texture, line, and color, space, texture, line, and shape. So if the shape's right, the color's right, the lines are all right because your eye follows lines.
Uh-huh.
You look here, it goes here. Then you know you're at peace with it doesn't give you anxiety looking at it. You just look at it. So even though it could be purple, off-white, and mauve, you could just say it just looks good. It's not my thing. Never. No way. But you can appreciate it for the design aspect and go, it kind of looks cool. Just not my cup of tea.
Yeah. So, we definitely were going to be more particular, especially on the main tree. The theme trees, it seems like when there's a theme, it's a little easier to get them right, to get the ornaments in the right spot. But when there's just so many different things on, because the main tree, it has like ornaments I got when I was a kid. It's got like this little wooden Garfield and Odie ornament, that's on there. So it's like finding a spot for that. And one thing I did do this year too is I bought a rotating tree stand because I got tired of the back of the tree
Yep.
jokes and the old ugly back of the tree stuff, and it's like, we got a whole tree. Let's see the whole thing, so. And,
That's why I love my rotating stand. There's
Yeah.
there's a lot of people confused about the rotating stand, and they ask, how do the wires not get all tangled up? Well,
yeah.
the electric
That's
outlet is built into the rotating stand, so you plug into the stand, and everything rotates all at once. So there's no tangling involved.
yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I have
Sorcery.
I have 2.5 totes in my attic of Hallmark lighted ornaments that I have not had up in years because the plug that comes with them is different than the lights that there are now.
Uh,
Well, I just recently, after doing some research, found that you can change that end of the plug out and use it on a regular standard strand of lights now. So this year I'm hoping to have garland around my front room window, which is a floor to ceiling window, and have my lighted ornaments on display, which I have not had in years.
It'll frame the tree at the front window.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
That'd be
that'll look
nice.
beautiful, Sherry.
Yeah, I've wanted to do this maybe someday. That we haven't,
But like I
Like,
said,
why
I
not
had
garland?
used them because the plug would not fit into newer lights.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's called adapters, Sherry.
But
We knew about those. They're called adapters.
Some of the adapters don't work quite.
but you know what, Doug?
You gotta be careful.
With this method, you don't have to pay through the nose for those adapters, which you can't find anymore unless you go to eBay and pay an arm and a leg for them.
Yeah, unless you
So
wait till
the-
I like
February.
I need them.
Right.
Go ahead. We're introducing Todd. So what was the next
Yeah.
question? You get on four of us on a Christmas tangent.
Oh, it's fine. So yeah, because we're going to be talking about LED Christmas lights next. So I know there's no strong opinions on.
Ooh, okay. Those are some fighting words.
No, I
No.
have to say, there are some that I like.
Yeah, we got a balsam hill tree last year, and it's pre-lit, and one of the reasons I got it like that is I like the colored lights, and my wife likes the white lights, and so you can switch back and forth or do both,
Mm-hmm.
and we really like it. The tree is excellent, and they're LED lights, but they're like really nice LED lights. You couldn't really tell, and they're dimmable, too, which is nice.
That is nice.
But I tell you one thing, I have missed putting the lights on the tree. As crazy as that sounds, it does. When you guys were talking, it's like, yeah, I feel like I don't know my Christmas tree at all because I don't put the lights on.
Right.
Because I remember one of my first Christmas trees I had was an artificial where the branches came out. It was like an L-shaped thing in the trunk, and so before I would even clip the branch on, I would like string the whole thing up with lights because I could get to it so easy, and it was a 7.5-foot tree, and I had like 2,400 incandescent lights on it. And we had to when the tree was on, we had to keep the front door open at night in December. It gets, below freezing just to let the heat out of the living room.
Oh yeah.
And then we found out quickly we couldn't have our Christmas tree on and use our microwave at the same time or it'd throw a breaker, and,
Oh, Christmas vacation.
yeah. And,
A fuse is out. Nobody moves.
yeah. And, so, now they don't, I guess they still may make them where they do that, but it's a little harder to reach in. And so I don't really want to add lights to the pre-lit tree because with LED, it's hard to match the hue.
Yes.
And,
Absolutely.
and if it was incandescent, that's pretty easy to match. But so we'll live with it until something happens. I have a feeling being Balsam Hill, hopefully the lights will last a little while, and they sent plenty of extra bulbs and stuff with the tree. So, but
With LED lights, we don't have any simply because the ones that we would probably consider purchasing flicker.
All of them do.
And they would tend to give Doug a headache.
just
So
have a-
they
vibration.
kind of vibrate. So we avoid them. However, there are some LEDs out there that are they're not cheap, but man, they're really good looking.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a few out there, and like someone said, why are you not, why don't you all this as like LED? Are you worried about your power bill? And I turned around and I just threw it right back at him and I said, if power was an issue, I shouldn't be doing this in the first place.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
philosophy is this: my one thing that I want to spend my money on, it brings me joy and pleasure. So, and plus I mean, this is a lot, but it's not all on at the same time, 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So it might be for a little bit, or we'll turn it on for 3 or 4 hours this time. So it's not like they're always on like a normal lamp you have in your living room, where that sucker's on, could be on for 8 hours a day. But no, I'm not worried about the power bill because that's not a thing. Because if it is, then I shouldn't be doing this. So it's just again our priorities and
Yeah.
what psychologically you feel. So it's just LEDs don't. I mean, the main tree, one of the main trees, the last one that needs to come, we call it the retro tree. I grew up with C7 lights
Oh,
that
yeah.
you screw
Those are the best.
Yeah.
get screaming hot. They twinkle. They have frosted clear. I've always had a tree since I was young, and we still have that one tree. It's one of the tallest. It doesn't rotate, but it stands pretty much in the middle of the room, and that is the retro tree because it's super old fashioned,
it's,
super 1950s and 60s.
It's kind of like your scrapbook tree, but we
Oh.
refer to it as the nostalgia tree.
Yeah.
It's like a catch-all for everything of all of our older ornaments. I have ornaments from World War II from my
nice.
grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah, so things like that. Those all collect on the nostalgia.
And I have to
And
say,
those,
Doug is like a cat. He has one spot on their couch that he sits on, and all of the
I do have a
ornaments,
spot like Sheldon.
all of the ornaments that face that part of the couch have to be his favorites. So when he's sitting there, he can look at his favorites.
Yeah. That's going to be the.
I fog the light, certain lights just right. So if I'm sitting there, I see about a 14 by 14 section of the tree. It's kind of like an altar or shrine. And I carve it. It's the weirdest thing. But I sit there and I'll stare at it. And that's all I do. And it's up. And I'll
He's
just
not
stare
wrong.
at it.
He's not wrong. It's true.
It's
That's what
just,
he
it's
does.
it's on the line of sight. And I have this tree is a piece of art. It takes forever because I'm always,
And
I don't
don't
like
mess
that.
with those ornaments if you
Yeah.
value your
No.
life.
And we all have they were unboxing ornaments, and so I was collecting my pod, my hoard, corralling them and putting them on my tray. And I'm like, oh, I'm just getting all happy, good old friends, just all happy. I'm like, guys, I'm missing ornaments. No, we unboxed them all. I'm like, no. I know, and I'm listing them off. Oh no, we unboxed them all. I said, fine. We didn't put the totes in the garage yet. So I go through them, and there was 2 boxes chock full. And I was not livid, but it was like, don't tell me you didn't unbox my stuff. I know. It's like, go there. And it's very particular. It's like almost like Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory, because we watch a lot of TV and a lot of Hallmark movies. He has a spot, and he could tell if this discernible butt print is different on his side of the couch. I'll come in the room, and I'm like, this is wrong. Why is there water over there? It's like no joke.
Yeah. Yeah. For those that don't know the podcast, the audio podcast of this version, for years, I gave up trying to title my episodes. So within like the first three or four episodes of Christmas Clatter, I just started using a random line said in the podcast as the title. It has nothing to do with whatever we're talking about. So Sherry, you just named this episode "Doug is like a cat." Is going to be the name of this episode.
That's when they need the little sound effects.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Sherry wins.
But you know
I just
what?
like it.
Our maternal grandma was the same exact way. Nana
Yeah.
always had to sit in the same place on the couch.
Yeah.
Always.
Yep.
And if you
Always
sat there,
right
she wouldn't really say anything. She'd just come in and stand there and look at you. And you knew you better move.
Yeah.
When we have guests, it's the guests. I'm welcoming them. But man, I just want to rip off my skin because someone is sitting on my couch
I,
and I have to go sit here watching TV and they're sitting there and I'm like, I'm letting the cats be comfortable, but I just want to tell them, get out of there. I want to sit in my
I,
spot.
I do
But
this.
internally, I'm just like, I just want to rip my skin off.
I do the same thing when we have a big get together at my mom's. There's one chair on the dining room table I like to sit at the table and eat, you know. And when there's a whole bunch of people, I'll go get my glass. And I'll,
And put it there.
we use like a red Solo cup, and I write my name on it, so I know which one's mine. And I'll fill it up, and I'll go set it right there in front of that chair, just to kind of mark that spot before anybody else gets there. Because
That's funny.
Kids.
Yeah, it's my spot.
yeah,
When Sheldon came out and that television series came out, I just gravitated and related to it because like I did that all my life. I always had this particular place. It was just really weird.
that's
Okay.
funny.
That's not Christmas
I
really.
guess
That's okay.
Next
That's okay.
question, I guess.
Oh, we were talking about LED lights and they have their point, but blech. D7's all the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. What you got there, Ben? You got some birds? Those are the Target birds.
Yeah, I went to Target.
Yeah.
I've been on this bird buying kick from Target for a little over 2 years now. I think
Yeah.
the first birds I bought were Christmas of 2020, and I just happened to pick them up. I didn't know that they were a thing.
Uh-huh.
Well, now I'm stuck with these birds now,
For
and
every holiday.
and I can't help myself. That
But you
and
know what? He got me stuck on him too.
that and the new snowman.
New Lofi.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We'll have
He's
to go
holding-
hunt him.
I don't know what it is about Christmas and birds, but I'm not a big bird fan. I don't like
I'm not
birds. They
either.
creep me
I'm
out.
not
Except
either.
at Christmas time, I love Christmas birds.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah, these are little
Hard-
cartoony little things. And they're
These are
designed
adorable.
so
Yeah.
well.
And there is just one bird now that we need.
Yeah, I
yeah.
like
They released 9 birds this year, and one of them is dressed like a reindeer, and they did not have it in the store. They didn't have it on their website, so I don't know if it's completely
Although-
sold out already. But
Yeah, because Ben saw
Yeah.
it last night on the website, but today when we went to the store, they didn't have any at the store, and we checked the website where I ordered the rest of the birds.
no reference.
There
Yeah.
was no picture of it whatsoever. We couldn't find that reindeer bird.
Oh wow.
We
Yeah.
like collections. You have one of each size and all the different colors too.
But
like
we-
Lake Crusade cookware.
But we have to be careful, otherwise
Yeah, we don't need 9, but the Santa
I'll-
one with the
I'll
beard,
tell you,
I would have to say.
there are some things that you start to collect that are just a rabbit hole, and once you go down that hole,
That's
Oh,
these
it's
birds.
dangerous.
Because
yeah, well,
it's not just Christmas; it's every holiday now that we're hunting them down.
Yeah.
I got my Halloween and ones out upstairs.
Yeah. I messaged Arnie the other day about Funko Pops to see if he ever got into those, and he's like, "No," and I'm like, "Well, you better be glad because that's a pit I fell into pretty hard." And
It takes over.
Yeah, what
oh,
is it? Jeff that's into the Funko Pops.
yeah,
I
I
think
think
so.
Jeff,
yeah.
my one son, likes the Funko Pops. So
And it's kind of like collecting is kind of like one of those things that you can focus on something, but then then I start taking up vinyl records. So it's like anytime I go somewhere and they got some vinyl records, I sit there and they always have them in a crate in the floor. So I squat down and sit there and flip through every one of them, and
that's my daughter-in-law. She loves vinyl records.
And when we went to Bronner's here a month or so ago, they had the Department 56 stuff there, in the villages, and it was like, I can't afford to go down this rabbit hole with that stuff,
oh,
Well, my
it
problem
is.
is I don't have a place where I could display.
I don't
it
either,
other
but that usually doesn't
It
bother
doesn't
me.
matter. How many times we've gone to Disney World or Disneyland? I'm like, just buy it. We'll deal with it later because either we could possibly return them or we could sell them. Just
Well,
buy
see,
it.
that's the way I am with nativity sets. I've got
Oh my
little ones
gosh.
and big ones, and
Yeah.
they're from all over the world, and I collect those. So I'm always finding places to stuff them in.
At some point, I think we're going to have to start wearing them.
No, I have to say, though, I haven't
Glue-
bought a new one in a long, long time.
That's true.
And I
Yeah.
gave away one to Megan because she really wanted one, so one of mine, so I gave it to her. In fact, for Christmas one year, they gave me the nativity set on one of those. What do they call them?
Swedish
The
rotating thingy.
they're German. It's the carousel. It's the tower that spins with candles. For they
Uncle Eddie
keep
breaks it on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, and my kids gave me one, and my daughter said, "Okay, mom, when you die, this comes back to us." And I said, "Okay."
Wonderful.
Oh yeah, human beings naturally have an addictive personality,
Yeah.
and they could be addicted to really anything. And you get one, and you're like, "Ooh," and then you get another one, and it just explodes, and you're like, "But I need all of the sizes and all the different colors,
Yeah.
because I need the collection. Because one, if you don't get it, then one's going to be sad and left out,
Yeah.
and you have this emotional attachment
Yeah.
to it, like the curling iron
So,
or the
Yeah,
curlers.
if we all would time travel back to Cro-Magnon Man, we'd all be gatherers, you know.
Oh, I am. That ship is.
You know.
That's good. That's really.
Before we wrap this up, guys, let's do a quick lightning round. I want to get a few of your favorite Christmas things here. So I'll give a topic and just let me know what your favorite whatever that is, if you don't mind. We just got 3 or 4 of them. So what's
Sounds
your
fun.
what's
do you
your
want
favorite?
Do you want us to each answer?
Yeah, I want to answer from each of you. So
Okay.
well, Arnie, we'll start with you, and we'll work to Doug, Ben, and then Sherry. So what's your
Okay.
favorite Christmas movie?
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Doug?
I know. I have to say a lot, but it really is a Christmas story. Really, I know it's just. Yeah, it's a Christmas story.
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation.
All right.
Christmas at the Plaza.
Oh, that's a good
Oh,
one.
Hallmark.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Hallmark. Yeah. All right. This time, Sherry, we'll start with you, and we'll work our way towards Arnie. Then, what's your favorite Christmas song?
Ooh, I have so many. I would have to say that's a tie between In the Bleak Midwinter
Mhm.
and Silent Night. And the reason I like Silent Night is because as a kid, I grew up going to my grandfather's church, and he was a Spanish pastor. And I first learned Silent Night in Spanish before I learned it in English. So every time I hear it, it brings back fond memories. And I think of it in my mind in Spanish before I think of it in English.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's really sweet. Ben.
My favorite song is "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year," Andy Williams version.
Oh yeah. Doug.
Mine is Nat King Cole's the Christmas.
Christmas song.
Christmas song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Christmas song.
Christmas song.
Mm-hmm.
And like Ben, mine is Andy Williams' version of The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. It just evokes such a happy feeling and just
Yeah.
great feelings of the season.
Yeah. As soon as those instruments hit all at once, you can't help but
Yeah.
smile.
Makes me smile.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask my youngest son, it would be Paul McCartney.
Ugh.
Oh wow, that was a hiss.
For those of you on the
He
listening to the
loves that
podcast, Ben
song.
I have never seen Ben roll his eyes so hard.
Oh.
Oh man. All right, Arnie. This time we'll start with you and work our way the other direction. Favorite Christmas food?
If I had to pick just one, I would say a Bush Noel, a Yule log.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Mine are these sugar cookies. I call them the 1980s sugar cookies, and they have to have red, white, and green sprinkles.
Oh, classic.
Been making those. Very. Oh wow, it's not Christmas unless I have to have those.
For me, it's caramel cookies that are made with a cookie press.
Oh yeah.
There's
For
nothing
me?
caramel.
There's nothing caramel about them.
No, but they're
that's-
made with brown sugar, and they taste amazing. To me, as soon as I sink my teeth into it, it's Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm going to go out there. Prime rib.
Oh yeah.
Oh, such a card.
We live in the
That's
carnivore of our family.
I love my beef, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
usually only get prime rib at Christmas.
Oh yeah.
She buys it.
I buy it so that I can have it.
I don't blame you. That's prime rib is one of those little known Christmas traditions that do have some origins around Christmas time. So it is acceptable. All right. This is a, you have to pick one. Would you prefer Christmas movies or Christmas music? And we'll start with Sherry and work our way backwards.
I would say music. I love movies, but music for me speaks to my heart and my soul more than anything else.
I would say music as well, as long as there is nothing involving several people who think that they are like the gifts of Christmas these days.
Like Mariah Carey.
Oh, you didn't have to say it.
That's fighting words. You're here. We
Yes,
don't
but
want
how can
unsubscriptions here.
How can she qualify herself as the head of Christmas when she's barely alive?
Oh my god!
Wow.
You know, Todd needs subscribers. There was a lot of unsubscribing there.
Then
I make no bones about it. I cannot stand her.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, Doug, what
I guess
movies or
not.
music?
Mine is definitely movies.
Movies.
And for me, it's music.
Yeah.
Main reason why is because you can take the music anywhere. Yeah, you can watch movies on your phone or whatever, but you can listen to the music anywhere.
But you can write. You can read.
Yeah, but I think
you
for
can
us,
sing.
music is important.
You guys
because
are all musically inclined.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've sung together for years, and it's pretty special
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
can do that.
We're gonna have to record some Christmas carols, by the way, when we get together.
Oh, yeah.
And traveled all around the United States and the world singing, and
Yeah.
I can't.
That'd be wonderful.
That.
That'd be
Yeah.
wonderful. But yeah, Ben, I love Mariah Carey's Christmas album from 1994. Every song, even I love it. It's a great album. But her embrace of this Christmas thing is really wearing me out. If she would just be like Mariah Carey, the pop star, and hey, I got this Christmas album that's real popular, cool. But her embrace of everything Christmas, like it's
I'm sorry, it's sacrilegious.
like what is it? Like a trying to do a second career or reinvention of herself. It's wearing me thin.
Just go to Vegas like everyone else does.
Yeah.
Or Branson.
Well, we have a Christmas album that you probably should share with him some of the sound bites of our. For years, we would go to the stores and look for the worst Christmas album we could find.
Oh, piano's
And
out of tune.
this one year, we found an organ.
It was at Music Land in Pleasanton at the Stone Ridge Mall. The store doesn't exist anymore. The mall does, but
It's an album of organ music.
it's the best.
And it sounds like whoever recorded it went into the studio cold and just started playing whatever notes he wanted. And you can hear him stumble on his finger. or his
What album is
feet.
that again?
It's nothing you'll find anywhere, but I can share some sound bites with you and
It's
send you some MP3s.
hysterical. In fact, we
It's my
played it.
favorite Christmas album.
We played it for our choir director one year when he was here visiting for Christmas.
Yeah.
And we were very serious about it. We didn't tell him what was coming, what was coming up. And the look of horror on his face when he started hearing it.
Yeah.
And then we started laughing. And then he realized that, it was a joke.
I don't want to play. It was, yeah, that was funny.
Oh man.
I'll sit there and listen, and every time one particular song comes on, I'll just sit there.
You just sit there and laugh.
I chuckle.
That's all you can do with it.
Oh,
It's hysterical.
that's
That one and the one that he has of cats meowing Christmas carols.
Oh, that was stupid.
Yeah.
oh yeah. It's like the dogs that do the jingle bells. It's like, oh, the first time I heard it was cool, but
like
after that, I'm done.
That's my ringtone for Arnie at Christmas time.
The cat meowing.
I thought it's the I thought it's the xylophone when the Charlie Brown tree and all the
No,
needles.
that's the pine needle. There's that little sound. It sounds like someone is tinkling the strings of the harp in a piano, and that's the sound of the needles falling from Charlie Brown's tree. That's my text message.
Awesome.
Oh, it's the text message. Yeah.
Well, before I let you guys go, I promised to send you some stickers, and I will. I'm gonna get those off in the mail because you guys need. So I got my new stickers in right here.
Oh, nice.
So,
Ooh, I
Those
like
are
those.
awesome.
so I'll be
Very
sending
cool.
you guys some of these. And
I will turn it into an ornament to put on the tree.
my wife Holly makes ornaments as well, and she was just fooling around the other day, and she made something like this, and we'll be sending it to you guys as well here. I don't know if I get
Oh my word!
get the
I
camera to-
love that.
So yeah,
That's adorable.
so we'll be sending that along as well for you guys to put on one of your trees there. So
I have an idea. I was seeing something today. Now you got me an idea.
so yeah, but
No, it's okay because it's like this is a good idea.
Oh, well, guys, I appreciate it so much. You guys taking your time out on a Wednesday to join me here on Christmas Clatter and just talk about decorating and stuff. I had a blast, and hopefully this will be the first of many visits. You guys are always welcome. Always enjoy your live streams on Mondays. For those that don't know, Pepper Tree Villa is live on Monday nights. That's at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, and links are in the description and the show notes for the podcast. So you guys will be no more than a tap away. Arnie, tell me where's the best place to find Pepper Tree Villa on social medias?
Actually, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Pepper Tree Villa.
Right.
It's that simple. And we're also on TikTok.
That's what
but-
the logo looks
Oh yeah,
like. It's
if the logo's here. For those of you in the podcast, I'm wearing my shirt with our logo on it. So let me pull up the right.
and
side.
my
There we go.
favorite color is Christmas lights. And I actually designed this design, and it's on redbubble.com. You can buy all kinds of my swag.
Yeah.
If you want this T-shirt, you can get it.
I'll drop a link. I'll drop a link to your Redbubble store in there too.
It's just because I've had people. I like that shirt. Like you could have that too. It's not at Kohl's or some tacky department store that's going to be dying
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, I hear you. So
That's
Well, they're not going to be around long. Amazon's coming
having us.
after you all.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's been fun.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
been a
Todd,
With
this has been a
fast.
blast.
Yes,
So thank you.
It has. And for those just listening on the podcast, on the audio version of the podcast, I just want to encourage you to hop over to Christmas Clatter on YouTube and subscribe. And if you can make the live streams Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'd love to have you, because as we end the podcast right now, we're going to hang out for a little bit and have a special live Q&A with those with us in the chat. So you're just kind of missing out on that little bit, but I understand that schedules are what they are, and just thank you so much for listening to the podcast. That is greatly appreciated as well. So until next time, remember, keep Christmas hope alive every day. All right, guys. Thanks so much. If anybody has a question, yeah, if anybody has a question in the chat, just start it with a Q and a colon for me to be able to see quickly. I'm going to kind of roll back here and see if some things that I missed along the way. There were a few that caught my eye, but I didn't want to say too much about it at the time.
I know one thing that caught my eye was that Richard said that The Carpenter's A Christmas Portrait is the best Christmas album.
Yeah.
Fight me.
No, he's
I
actually
won't fight him on that,
No,
because
he's
that is a
actually
very good album.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, man? Appreciate you taking time. I'll move these over here a little bit so I can see them a little easier. So, and then there was one in here. Orlando guy got me fired up for a second. So,
Oh, he's all kind of spicy.
yeah.
Oh, I see a question here from the Tin Horse Monty.
Oh my
Says,
gosh!
where-
Can we yes,
Oh,
please.
yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Can we have an Amy Grant free Christmas? No, Mr. Orlando guy, we cannot. And this about got you just completely banned from Christmas Clatter with comments like this.
No.
And then you totally redeem yourself, sir. Totally redeem yourself. you know. So, but yeah.
I have to say, I read that book when it first came out, and I had like 2 chapters left, and I took it with me to Fenton's, I think it was, or the Creamery. And we're sitting there waiting for our food, and I'm finishing it up, and I start to bawl like a baby because of that book. So I own that book. I've seen the movie. I do love the song, I have to say. Sorry, Richard, but I do love it.
No, I don't do with
She's a
death,
girl.
I
sadness.
am a girl.
Yeah, that's a big old girl. No, the holidays could bring a lot of traumatizing memories too.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you hear people on social media saying, "Why is all this joy?" But Christmas time brings me so much sadness. It's really hard. There's a sensitivity to that, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's such a heavy time of the year. So when it comes to movies and the sickly dog or the mother dying of cancer, or I avoid all that because you want joyful happiness, rainbows, unicorns, lollipops. You
Yeah.
want you want life and fluff. I don't want
But I think
sadness.
Holly's right though. It's a good song. It's just
It's sad, and I need
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Well,
it
Doug, you're right. Christmas does bring up sad memories for a lot of people. I mean, for us, I
does.
think this year, I don't know how mom is going to be,
Yeah, I don't know.
but I know that last year, Tom and I were getting ready to leave Christmas Eve morning to go to our kids' place to be with them for Christmas. And I got a message from one of our cousins that my mom's sister had passed away Christmas
oh
Eve,
mercy. Yeah.
early morning, in her sleep.
Mhm.
So, we've got that anniversary coming up. It'll be 1 year Christmas Eve. So I don't know how mom's gonna take it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But we all have some sad memories of Christmas. For me, it was finding out that Santa Claus did not exist. And that
Really?
was
Well, someone told you completely wrong. So
well, here's what happened. We were living on 60th Avenue, guys. So you guys weren't around yet.
Nope.
Ron and I were real little, and my aunt and uncle lived next door. Well, I had to go home to get something, and the light was on in our garage, and the door was open ajar. So I peeked in, and there was my dad and our cousin Sid putting together this little army tank that my brother wanted from Santa, and they were playing with it in the garage. And that's when I realized that Dad was really Santa.
mm,
And it was because
Oh,
I was
I don't think
being
you saw that at
nosy.
all.
It
I
was
think
because I was nosy.
yeah. Well,
I did it
oh,
myself,
yeah.
but
well,
it
All right.
traumatized me.
Can we get some of the questions that we were
Mhm.
seeing already?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's roll down
question.
to those. I want to say, hey, Gabe, you said earlier you're late. You're never late, sir. You're always right on time. Thanks for hopping in here. So, where are you guys located? So,
We're in
we are
Northern California,
We're in the San Francisco Bay Area.
San Francisco Bay Area,
yeah.
East Bay to be specific.
East Bay.
Yeah. For those that don't know, this is a friend of mine, Gabe. He's also a coworker of mine. He runs a YouTube channel, 10 Horse Monty, all about fishing. He does a lot of local updates for, lakes and ponds around this area and tournament
Ron about
stuff.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
Ron
we'll
will
have
love-
to do our
yeah.
brother.
Yeah. So
He's
if
a
you need
fisherman.
some tips and tricks on how to catch more and bigger fish, check out Gabe on the 10 Horse Monty.
Oh, Ron will.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
with Ron.
Yeah.
I don't
so-
like get my hands dirty.
I would fish as a kid because Dad would take us camping, but I would only put on salmon eggs.
Uh-huh.
And then when I reeled the fish in, Dad had to take it off the hook. I would not take that. I would not touch the trout.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I had Gabe on a Christmas Clatter, not last Christmas, maybe the Christmas before. I can't remember. Talked about recycling Christmas trees into the wetlands and the ponds and lakes and how good
Great.
that
Yeah.
is for the wildlife and for the fish and stuff.
Wow.
And,
It
yeah.
decomposes and it gives them
Yeah.
it gets the nitrogen back.
Yeah.
We're learning about composting and doing gardening, and man, that's a whole thing. It's like really cool how you get it and it just decomposes. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It is. So Kathy's wanting to know, you guys going to do Christmas cooking or baking coming up this year on your show?
I'm sure we
yeah.
will.
Yes, we will be. We'll definitely
Because
be
I'll
doing that one.
probably do a segment on Ben's favorite caramel cookies.
Oh,
Mm.
that'd be good.
Yeah, you guys haven't had a video, and we go. There's stuff that we have to do. And then there was that one Christmas we took 3 days nonstop and we made 17 different. And we're not just saying we melted the chocolate and put, pretzels on it. We're talking full on rolled, make and bake, slice and bake,
Yeah.
rolled, and
Yeah.
it was like army precision, and it was a lot of work.
Yeah, that
And you
was
took
a
them
lot
to
of fun.
work, and the one that I threw down the drain, the ones that I didn't
The one that
have,
you did not like.
I hated those.
It was the most popular
Popular
cookie.
one, and they were fighting in the office for them. I'm like, I threw those down the drain. I'm like,
Now,
oh, people standards are really
You
low.
guys, you guys make a cookie with pistachios, I think.
The more
Are they
Morris, yes, it's
Mormors?
cinnamon,
Oh my gosh!
a
That and
European.
Doug's gingerbread is legendary. It is
Oh.
delicious.
Oh, we'll have to do a
Took me
cookie. We'll have to
30
do a cookie
years to make
exchange or
that
something.
recipe. 30 years to make that.
We have a tradition. I think this year will be year 26. It's just called Cookie Days, not aptly named. And my mom has an open house because she decorates so much, and she makes all these cookies for people just to come and go and eat. And she ends up making about 23, 25 different kinds of cookies, and usually 4 to 5,000 individual cookies total. And
That's a lot of cookies.
Most
It is a
butter
lot of cookies.
manufacturers
That
love
is-
your mom.
That is dedication.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's worth fun. Now
and,
it's
they're all homemade, and they're not like you said, the pretzels slapped on
Right.
a Hershey Kiss and called a reindeer. It's
Yeah.
like legit stuff. And one of the more popular, and we started actually a Cookie Day Hall of Fame and had people vote on their favorites and stuff. And one of the most favorite cookies people enjoy, it's called a orange slice cookie. It was my grandfather's favorite cookie, and it's a no bake, and you roll it in brown sugar, and it's got orange slice candy and nuts and stuff in it, and it's kind of like a Depression era recipe.
Yeah, it's
And
very vintagey.
yeah, and it's always a big hit with everybody. And of course, we had classic chocolate chip and snickerdoodles and stuff like that. And,
Mm.
yeah.
But
Now I want some cookies.
yeah, I tell you.
Well, you know where the
Actually,
kitchen
yeah,
is?
our sweets around here is very sad.
Yeah.
I actually just picked up a thing of snickerdoodle Oreos so we can try them on the show on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, you did
Oh, okay,
find
great, you
them.
found them.
Found them. Yeah, I
At
found them
Target.
at Target.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I did try the pumpkin spice Kit Kat the other day. It wasn't bad. So how many
How
trees
many-
this year, guys?
We right now
will be
we have 26 trees right now. We still have 4.5 to do.
Tinkerbell 7. Starbucks
Yeah.
8.
The reason why there's a half is we're gonna have one half tree hanging on the wall.
we have
Yeah.
an actual Christmas tree.
Then I'm going to do.
Do you do any upside down trees?
Nope.
No, we've thought about it.
You know, when
Awesome.
Arnie was still living here and he and Ben were putting up trees, I told him, "You bring one more tree in this house, we're hanging it upside down above the bathtub."
Oh yeah,
No,
that
and
tipped up.
we'll have 10 at ours this year.
So, about the equivalent of 10. I
Yeah,
think.
between 10 and 12.
That's nice. My mom does do one upside down tree in her laundry room because there's not enough space. So she hangs a small tree from the ceiling fan, but then she decorates it all with Santa and Mrs. Claus's laundry. It's got little clothespins on it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and so it's a lot of
That's
it's
fun.
a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
really cute.
Now,
Mikey.
uh,
go ahead, Arnie.
I was gonna say, do you guys the garlands? Yeah, we love
Yeah.
lights on our garlands, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact,
ours
one
is
right
lit.
above Doug's head, that is on the fireplace.
That's balsam.
That's a Balsam Hill
It
garland.
looks like a floral arrangement. It has a zillion pine cones in it and bubble lights
Are-
from the
Are the lights on already?
Yeah, the lights are
there,
on.
it's all done.
Yeah.
And the stockings are hung on the chimney with care.
Well, good.
And then we also have a garland in our studio that has lights on it as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
garland
Over-
is definitely
Over Sherry's right shoulder. Over Sherry's right shoulder on my dresser, there's a lit garland from Balsam Hill that I've had here for about 4 or 5 years.
But all our garlands upstairs are lit too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Our hallway has garlands along the ceiling, all the way up the stairs, and those get decorated and lit. They're actually decorated right now for fall, and then after Thanksgiving, all those fall things come out, and we put our Christmas stuff in.
Oh, well, Holly's
And
correcting me.
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
stockings are all cross stitch, very crafty. Sherry's quite the cross stitch sewing machine. And I grew up doing plastic canvas and cross stitch, and you guys did it. And we have 3 on the mantle, and these things are super fine art. Arnie is going to get them. We have to show
They
them because they're
did
fine art.
Arnie
They
and
are.
Arnie and no, I did no, I did the one here that we have hanging for you here, Judd. But
Yeah,
those ones
you've done
there,
all the ones there, but Arnie
that
did
you,
his, and
Arnie and
mine.
Ben did, yeah, Arnie and Ben did these ones.
Oh wow, that's
There's
fantastic.
mine.
And then they
They-
sent them to
Ben,
me to get finished off.
Ben did this, and he
Here's-
says he'll never do this
here's
again
Ben's.
because
Wow,
the detail, it was
yeah,
a
that's a
smaller
lot of
count.
yeah.
And then Doug's
Because I like baking
is
and
here.
the gingerbread makers.
Oh wow.
So everything we have is like impeccable detail, and they're like, where do you have all the time? And it's like, we just make the time.
It
Yeah.
takes,
I mean,
well, it takes years too. So
yeah, these they
I
do
still
take
have one
years.
I'm working on for Ben that I've had for 4 years.
Something like that.
I don't think it's going to be done for this year.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. We're part of the puzzle exchange for Christmas,
Oh yeah.
Pod, and
We got ours from Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Coming
From
one of your listeners, Charlie,
Charlie
in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
he sent this puzzle to us, and
yep.
we have one that we're
Is
sending.
that Rudolph?
It's Rudolph.
It's
Yeah.
Rudolph.
You have all the digits. I put it in the envelope.
Yeah, I have the details. I got to write the address. We've got it, the package ready to go.
Okay,
but we
so-
just have-
How many trees are you actually going to have this year?
Physically, that we know for sure.
30 and a half.
Yeah. We already have it mapped out.
Okay.
It was one, we got to still do the office. Pretty much 2 are going to be here because this is new. I don't know how this is exactly going to be. Then we're going to have a 3 foot by the castle and then the half right there. So that's 1, 2, 3.
There's one in the studio that we still have to
4.
put up.
Yeah. And that's the
But
one in the
Martha-
studio. We need to buy, we actually have to buy one.
Martha's number 26 right now. So
She's the last
Okay.
huge. She's
Well, I have
ginormous.
2 of the halves, so does that count as one?
it does.
Yeah.
It does count.
There's
as
no
one.
half trees. It's just a tree. It's just oddly shaped.
It's a half.
It hangs on the wall. It's half
Yeah.
a tree.
Yeah. Holly wants to know,
Awesome.
Doug, can she have your gingerbread
Huh?
recipe?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not one of those that's like, it's going to go to my grave. This one it's soft and chewy. And it's
It's
kind of
delicious.
cakey. And it took me about 30 years to master it. And it's now, people swoon all over
let's
it. I
just
I had a girl cry.
Let's just say
literally cried.
his inspiration was the gingerbread that they sell at Disneyland.
Oh,
And he
God.
said, "My goal is to make it better than Disneyland," and
Yeah.
it is.
did.
It is.
I had
It is hands down better.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only I had it after I mastered them. I'm like, manufacturers like these, like Disneyland, they buy everything institutionalized.
Uh-huh.
They did something with it, and it was just not good. And I chucked it in the trash there on Main Street because I'm like, this ain't no cookie that I remember.
Yeah.
But I make that every year. I have to make the trifecta. It's the chocolate crinkles made with real chocolate, melted chocolate,
Uh-huh.
imported from Europe. My sugar cookies, and then a gingerbread.
Yeah.
And we had one year we just didn't have time, and I said, I don't care if I'm up all night, I have to make those. But then we have the snowballs, and then we pretty much have about 6 or 7 that we have to do. But if like an asteroid is coming, I will still make those 3 before the world comes in. I have to have my gingerbread, my
Yeah.
sugar cookie, and the chocolate crinkles.
Yeah. Holly understands that, taking time to perfect it, because she makes the most wonderful apple pie I've ever had in my life, and she would she's won awards for her apple pie. It's so good. And people are like, can you teach me how to make pie crust? And she's like, yes, but it's not going to be the same, because you just got to know when you're making it, the feel of the dough and stuff when it's right.
Yeah.
And you just don't get that, just by mixing the recipes and stuff together. And
Yeah, that's
you
my husband. He has he's won award an award at the county fair for his
It's pie crust.
no, well, for his olala berry pie.
Oh,
And
now I want pie.
I'm hungry.
and my and our daughter kept saying, "Dad, I cannot make the same pie crust you do, even though she has the same recipe.
Right.
It just doesn't work."
It's
It
not the
could
same.
be that when I give a recipe, it's based and perfected in the stove, the environment, my ingredients, and all the tools I have. So I can give you every bit of it, but because if you don't have the exact same cookie sheet,
Mm-hmm.
or the humidity is different in the house and you cook in gas and mine is electric, all that can affect the recipe.
Yeah.
And people don't understand. I'm giving you the recipe, but it might be different. And it happens because, your ingredients that you get and the water you use in middle of America is different from our water, or vice versa. Elevation can affect it.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a really big thing.
I will say this: I want gingerbread now.
I was thinking about making, I was like, we have
You
zero
have
sweets.
started?
We don't have.
Yeah. You said you're not taking that recipe to the grave, and please don't. Everybody says, well, you can't take it with you, and it's like, well, you can if it's knowledge. You can take that with you, because my mom, or my dad's mom, which I talked about Monday on your guys' show a little bit. She made like the best pumpkin pie anybody ever had. She would go to this one pumpkin patch over in Illinois and buy a certain kind of pumpkin and bring it home and cook it. And it was far and away the best that anybody ever had. And when she passed away, we were looking for the recipe. All we found was a list of ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh no, it sounds like a Food Network show.
and so it's like we've tried, and Holly's gotten close, but we just can't quite get it right. So Kathy's wanting to know what's your favorite Christmas candies. She loves a good fudge, and I can't blame her for that either. But
Candy.
Holly makes a toffee that I really like.
Yeah.
and,
That I just got
Yeah, there's-
Disneyland's recipe. That was that was
So
a production.
yeah, toffee I would say is our favorite.
Toffee.
Really, I can't really say that I have a Christmas candy that I'm fond of. I'm really more fond of cookies.
I have to say, there's a peanut butter fudge that my mom used to make when we were younger. That's really good.
yeah.
I haven't made that in years.
Maybe we need to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jessica says she makes mincemeat cookies and sugar cookies. I never.
Oh, that would be
Oh.
excellent.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Mincemeat cookies.
I tried mincemeat pie first time last year and just fell in love with them. And I got a figgy pudding I'm going to try live on YouTube here before long. I've never had a figgy pudding before, so
Oh, my
Oh,
son
that
would
was-
be proud.
yeah.
See, we've done various shows of the Taste of Christmas. And one of them we had a guest on, and he tasted figgy pudding for the first time, and the results were hysterical. So, but we're going to be doing another Taste of Christmas, but this time the Taste of Christmas is going to be from Cost Plus World Market.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing that on our Monday night show, the Monday before Thanksgiving. So we'll be doing the Taste of World Market, and we're excited about that. We're
Yeah,
gonna
it's going to be
Yeah,
fun.
that is going to be.
shopping. I think it's this weekend. We're going to be shopping for a lot of the products.
Yeah, Ken always makes blueberry pies for Christmas. So. Well, I know Ken. He makes all kinds of pies. He's always concocting stuff, and he's always making ice creams in the summertime too. Supposedly, he says cherry ice cream is his specialty, and I don't believe him until he makes me some. So.
Blueberry pie for Christmas. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Try
And
that sometime.
peanut
You know
butter
what, I'm
fudge is
curious-
good. Yeah.
It's the Jello, the heavenly Jello with the.
Oh yeah, you do like that.
I
heavenly
do
Jell-O.
like that. I'll probably make that. 'Cause
We
that's,
have a vintage Jello recipe that
I love
family
vintage
used to make as a-
recipes and go to
Yeah.
estate sales and get. So I can relate to, getting your mom's recipe, and it was the pumpkin. It was just basically a list of ingredients.
Yeah.
And I had a few of those. And when I went to estate sales, and I bought in piles of it, and it's just notes. And they've just gives them an idea of what it was, but they made it so much that it's just that person who made it.
It's
Yeah.
just their grocery shopping.
There's a meme out there, I think it was on Instagram or Facebook, that said, she was going to take the recipe to the grave.
Mm-hmm.
And on the headstone is carved in a quarter of a cup of brown powdered sugar. They literally made the headstone the recipe
Yeah, they
because she
did.
That's
wanted
fantastic.
to take it. If you type it in, and I just laughed. I go, that is hysterical. So she did, and it was a shortbread recipe, and it was a quarter a cup of powdered sugar, a cup of butter, and it's engraved in granite on her. She took it to her grave.
Oh,
I love shortbread.
that's hilarious.
Oh, I'm going to be making some. There is another one I want to make.
Yeah. I'm making myself hungry too. I'm gonna have to
I know. All of a sudden, I need a little sweet, just a little.
little something here or there. But guys, I really, really appreciate it so much. I can't say it enough. And thank you for being so kind to me as I start this YouTube stuff with Christmas Clatter and supporting me. And I see you guys pop up in the comments and things. I greatly appreciate it. And Doug, I gotta tell you this before I let you go. My 9-year-old daughter thinks you are probably the most funniest person alive. She thinks you're hilarious. And,
Poor thing.
Please. Great. I polluted someone in Missouri. I've made it to middle America.
so yeah, she just thinks you're hilarious. So, but we've as a family have enjoyed Pepper Tree Villa. It's almost like a must see TV on Monday nights, and we really enjoy it. So.
Well, spread the word.
Yes, we will. We will. And guys in the chat, thank you guys so much for being here and keeping the chat rolling. If I missed something you said, I apologize. I didn't mean to. Just kind of learning the multitask still and getting this live stream thing down. But we'll be back next week with a new episode. Ernie, Doug, Ben, Sherry, I can't thank you enough. Sherry, good luck on your craft fair this weekend. I hope you do well.
That's what I'm working on now while we speak.
Feverishly getting it done. Yeah, reach out to us privately, Instagram us, tweet us on the Instabook or the Facegram or whatever you want to. We're all there. And if you have any questions or you want to reach out to us, we're more than happy. We're not, we're not shy.
We do our best to respond as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
I'm shy, but I'm not shy.
I'm
shy, but
I understand that. And there's some tips and tricks that I'm going to pirate off your guys' channel and be putting on Christmas Clatter just to kind of spread the word a little bit, and because they're just wonderful. And again, guys, for those in the chat, Pepper Tree Villa, remember, keep Christmas hope alive every day.